All right, let's go straight to the graphics before we get to a very special guest. Something very special is going to take place in Lafayette, Louisiana. There you see it, the Country Crawl. And we have country music superstar Lee Brice on the other end of this conversation. And let's go to Lee. Lee, welcome aboard. Thank you for joining us on Bayou Time. We appreciate it.
Man, thank you for having me. I hope all is well on your end.
All is well. We're recovering, but I think that's why y'all are all getting together and throwing this big concert and what a lineup. And tell me, how'd you get involved with that and what made you want to step up? Because it's really a good gesture and we appreciate it.
Well, first of all, a friend of ours, Mike Vlasky, who myself and Randy Hauser and Colt and DJ Silver, all of us have partnered with some shows before. Mike called and said, man, I'd love to do this. And so we were all in. And I'm especially all in because I grew up in a place where I know the devastation of a major hurricane like that. Especially, I mean, y'all have back-to-back stuff, and it's been even worse. So the things that I went through they were major. You know, my daddy was a lineman working for the power company, and he'd be gone for a month at a time, after a hurricane like Hugo came through, and no power, no water, and all this. So everybody in the world thinks everything is completely frozen and broken down and you shouldn't go there. But what we want to do is raise some awareness that there's plenty of stuff still to do there. Although y'all are recovering and you got a lot of work to do, we know that, but there's still stuff to do and people need to still come visit down there. And so we're giving them a reason to come visit is what one of our plans were. But I've been through that stuff, so I know how devastating it is. And no water, no gas, no electricity for a few weeks or a month or two. That's a big deal. And until you've been through it, you don't really realize how quickly that'll change your life.
Lee, have you ever played in Lafayette before?
Oh yeah.
I bet you've been there several times.
Like
crazy.
Like Johnny Cash said, I've been everywhere, man.
Hey, where do you get your humbleness from? Because, I was reading interesting things that your dad was a big Alabama fan, the musical band Alabama, and your mom would sort of talk the words to songs, but in your songs, and I could see the spirit, but there's a humbleness that comes across. Where do you get that from?
Well, I think it's just kind of taught, growing up, that's a virtue to try to hold on to. Even if it ain't who you are, it's like, try to be humble. That's a thing that, and I grew up, with verses in the Bible and the teachings from there. And I feel like that it takes you far in life in a lot of ways. Not only trying to be humble, but mostly just being thankful for what you have, no matter what it is, and appreciating. So I've got people that have been with me on the road, band members and crew members and members of my business, you can call it, music family in Nashville for 20 years now. And we've been together that long because we all, are kind to each other, and we all appreciate what we're doing. And so that's just a natural kind of a thing. I guess, we didn't have much growing up, so I appreciate what's going on now.
Yeah. And it seems you keep religion in your shows. I saw some of the shows where you lead off with a prayer. And that's really great to see when somebody of your caliber is not scared to include that. So thank you for that.
100%. it's difficult to see, prayer and stuff getting taken out of so many places. And so I try to keep it in as many places as I can.
I want to bring up a graphic too, because you're going to be joined on stage by a lot of pretty good names, and it ought to be a fun time. There you see, of course, Lee Brice, but Randy Houser, Colt Ford, and DJ Silver. So you're going to be following all these guys. They're going to warm up that crowd for you. And I think last count, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have 8 #1 singles, or did it go to 9 with the last one? I lost count.
I think we got 9, and then we had our biggest song we had out was called Love Like Crazy, and it only technically got to #2, but it was a song of the year, so I still feel like it was a #1. So I feel like we're around 10 or 11 #1s, but that don't really matter. What matters is people know the songs coming in, and that is a beautiful thing. Man, you're talking about the talent that's coming in on this show. Randy Houser is the last person I want to have to get up on stage after he plays, because he is amazing. He's actually from down there, close around from where y'all from. Me and him have been great friends for 20 years, and respect and love each other to a brotherly love kind of thing. And so we're excited to be there together, and we're going to not only hopefully bring the awareness, everybody get to town, still come to town. Stuff is still available to come, hang out. And but we also just want to let everybody come to a show, take their minds off of what's going on, the hard times that are happening there, and let the local folks that are going to be there and come to the show, let them, just have a minute to let their hair down and just have a good time. And Randy and really Colt Ford, are you kidding me? Everything he ever does is so fun, and DJ just always makes everything feel good.
I remember when Steve Soleil was talking to me about this. We were in Houma, and he was telling me about this concert, and it was going to benefit a lot of people. And I'm going to get Jay to put up the graphics that all of the proceeds for this, y'all not walking away with anything. Y'all giving a lot of proceeds, and part of those proceeds are going to our own Terrebonne General Medical Center Employee Relief Fund. So that's big time for y'all to do. And not everybody does that, Lee, and certainly that's a mindset to help people, and we want to thank you and the crew for doing that.
Well, we are so blessed to be able to play music for a living, and we work hard just like everybody else works hard. I've done all kind of jobs, and so I know what working hard is all about, from the hardest jobs to the not hard jobs. And I'm telling you, but no matter how hard it is, sometimes, out on this road, leaving the family, doing the things we do sacrifice, but we get to live a dream, and to be able to do that, it affords us an opportunity every now and then, every chance we get to show up, play music, and help a cause. I mean, it really, in lack of better terms, it's not a lot of skin off our back, because we get to come there and have a good time and play music while we're helping out a cause. And so it's, people say thank you and all that kind of stuff, but I just say, no, man, we just wanted to, we wanted to be a part of it, and we're glad to be a part of it.
I saw you worked with some heavyweights like Doug Johnson and people like that, but who was your biggest influence growing up? Who did you want to be most like before you hit it to be a superstar?
It was probably, other than my roots, which would have been gospel, and then, some older school stuff that my daddy listened to, which would have been Kenny Rogers and Alabama and Oak Ridge Boys, and, and then George Strait and Randy Travis and Don Williams, and, that kind of stuff. When I got my own first little radio, my own little alarm clock radio, and I could turn it to whatever channel I wanted to, I heard Garth Brooks come out on the radio, when I was about 10 years old. And something about his songs and the way they spoke, the stories they told, and how the edges he pushed spoke to me really clearly. And so I was a fan from that. And then when I was 17, I got to see him live in Charleston, South Carolina. And in that moment, I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. I mean, this is where I'm supposed to be. And I've been writing songs since I was, 8 or 9 or 10. And so it started to make sense. But I'd say if I had to pick one person that kind of initially had a major influence on me, it'd be Garth. It really would. I mean, there's a lot of others, a whole lot of others. And they show up in my music all the time, whether it's writing or recording. But Garth was a big one for me early on.
Yeah, we saw Tony Arata. He was in Houma. We interviewed him before, and he wrote The Dance, which catapulted Garth Brooks everywhere. When did you know, Lee, that you were there, that one moment that you knew, hey, I made it? When was that?
I guess the first thing that pops in mind, I mean, you could always say, gosh, when I met Doug Johnson, or when I wrote with this person, but a few years went by and I found myself at the Opry for the first time. And that in itself would have probably been the moment where you said you made it. But I also, in that moment, I kind of kicked my band off the stage, and I had written this song it was about my life and my situation, but my hero, Garth, had heard it, and actually, at the time, I didn't tell anybody, but Garth had recorded it. And I didn't tell anybody even there, but I just sang this song, More Than a Memory. I sang it, just me and my guitar, and the first time I was on the Opry, and I remember halfway through the song, I had a standing ovation, just me and my guitar with this song. And so I remember thinking, well, if this is all that ever happens, I could say I made it.
No doubt about it. When you're going to be there Sunday in Lafayette, and people, let's face it, a lot of people down, but they're looking for a reason to get back up. Y'all are giving them a good reason to get back up. What's it mean to you when you're on stage and you're looking out? On a regular concert, it's fine and dandy, but when you're trying to pick people and their psyche back up, what does that mean to you?
Well, it's almost like, you go out and play every football game with everything you got. And you say that until you come up to that one game, at the end of the season, when it's that rivalry game, that one that you're not just going to give it all, you're going to give more. And so when we come out there, we always come to play and we always come to rock out. But with that in mind, what you're talking about and what's going on down there, we're gonna try to come with extra smiles and extra kicking the footlights out and let everybody have as good a time as we could possibly bring.
We talk about first responders, we talk about Hurricane Ida, but we also need to talk about, there's going to be a lot of people in your audience that help fight the fight against COVID, the doctors, the nurses, the frontline personnel.
Yeah.
And I know you always get deep and appreciate that as well.
I do. Every night I talk about it because it's true. We live in the greatest country in the whole world, and it's not because of, the land that we're on. It's because of the people who protect it and serve it today, always have and always will. And that is our military, and that is our police officers, our firefighters and EMTs and doctors and school teachers and so many people. Really, the list goes on and on of where all of us, most of us, like even just parents this year learned how crucial it is to have teachers, to where your kid isn't home trying to figure out how to get on a computer and learn, and they're too young to really know how to focus like that. So, you start to really realize how important all these people are. And so this country is made up of so many great people who lay it all out there every day for a bunch of strangers like us. And that's why we like to talk about it, and we like to thank them, because they don't ask for thank yous. They just do their job, is what they call it.
Yeah.
They say, it's just my job. And I say it's a lot more than just a job for them. I think it's a big sacrifice and a big commitment for all of them. And so we like to say thank you every chance we get.
Well, Lee, we want to thank you. We're going to bring up that page again because there's a lot of people. I'm bringing an entourage with me. We're going and we're going to introduce ourselves to you. We're going to have some fun, but they could go to the country crawl, the RagingCC.com, I think it is, and they could get tickets. They're available. We'd love to see a lot of people. And Lee, thanks to you, Randy Hauser, Colt Ford, and DJ Silver for making this happen. God bless you, and we look forward to seeing you at the show.
Yes, sir, man. We are excited to be there. You tell everybody when you see them, get their party and boots on, because we're going to come there and we're gonna throw down ourselves. So I'm hoping they're going to join along with us. And so we'll see you very soon. And thank y'all for having us today. And we'll see you soon.
All right, Lee. Thank you very much. Once again, there you see him, the superstar, Lee Brice. He's going to be in Lafayette, and that's Sunday. So Sunday, November 7th, they're going to be in Lafayette. There you see it right there. And go to the website, RagingCC.com for more information to get tickets, and it's a great benefit. Part of those benefits go to Terrebonne General Employee Relief Fund, Baton Rouge Area Foundation, IdaRecovery.org, and Volunteer Louisiana. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with a lot more right here on HTV.